All right, good evening, everyone. It's only taken a little while longer than it should have to get here, but we're now in. The VTuber camera's not working tonight. Minecraft's taken forever to load. I couldn't tell you what the problem was, and it even sounds like I've got a bit of a audio delay running now. Again, couldn't tell you why, but we'll get there eventually. Anyway, tonight, Minecraft in our multiplayer server running it's our multiplayer session from our multiplayer server running a Minecraft SMP. If you'd like to come and play, feel free to join in. You need to hit the Discord, and there'll be a link in there to a. Let me just find it. As a there's a channel in there called Multiplayer Server Details. In there you'll find the mod pack and 2 additional mods that you'll need to install, get yourself up and running, and get things ready to roll. Then once that's working, you'll need to come back probably into the into Discord, and DM me a Minecraft username. I'll get you out of the whitelist, and you'll be up and running in a matter of moments. So, what are we doing today? We got ourselves last week. We did a lot of work in and around the Department of NPC Affairs. I got ourselves a bit closer there to finishing things. Didn't quite get it finished. I'll tell you what, if this gets any slower, I'm going to have to restart everything. Alright. Get into the desert, get out of the rain. I am seriously wondering what's causing all the delays at the moment. It's not like the system's hurting for resources or anything at the moment. I just can't tell you what the problem is. Everything's been turned off. Okay, we're going to go back into creative while we fix... good job, me. While we finish building what we were working on. Okay, this is going weird. Alright, looks like the FPS is up and running again. Alright, so... Okay, this is going to take a little while to load. The Department of NPC Affairs, all the way up here, is currently built and awaiting residents. We'll get them in shortly. What we're working on today was what we finished up with last week, which is changing out everything at the Nether Hub. Now, it used to be you'd run down the Nether Highway, which we turned into a rail system. That's now been adjusted such that we have the 3 lines coming in to basically a train station. So down here's our southern branch, our westerly branch, so basically it'll loop around, connects through to the older rail line, and just heads west, and same for the easterly branch line. What we're going to do here is basically finish constructing a train station. So we're going to rip out this. I mean, this is all going to be built back anyway, but while we're just not 100% sure how far we're going to come back with the train station building, we may as well rip out to the walls the old lines and set about actually building out the train station. so this is going to have to stay where it is. That's the path down to the fortress. That's one block back, so that stays. Back to here. Go. Well, maybe if I block that off. So you'll pop out, arrive at the railway station. We're going to put a set of grey stained glass walls up. We don't need rail lines anymore. We've built our rail system and tested it. It's definitely working. I don't think we're going to use dark oak doors. I don't think we need white stained glass. Train station. Okay, so it's 5 blocks between each, and then 1 or 2 spare on the other side. We'll do that over here as well. And make that the exit entrance door, so to speak. So I had one of the things I was working on today, while I guess I should have been trying to work out why Minecraft wasn't doing the job, and might have actually been the reason why Minecraft was taking so long tonight, was I was actually looking at the mod set for if we make a move to 1.21.8 or later, and pleasingly there were far fewer mod clashes or mods that weren't updated than I was expecting. Sadly though, the ones that weren't updated were some of the key ones, and that'll polish blackstone. I need cut sandstone, and so that's going to take a little bit of time. I did read on some of the mod developers pages on Modrinth and CurseForge that they won't be targeting any version below 122. So we'll be stuck with 121.1 for a while longer, or we just move to a 121.8 or something like that, but with a different mod set. I don't see it. I don't see that being effective, so to say. So we'll stick with 121.1 for now, and it's just probably going to have to be a big chunk later on. And it could be... seriously, what is causing the delay here all of a sudden? Chiseled sandstones. Oh, there we go. Give me 2 seconds. And as expected, it was the VTuber camera finally coming up online. Well, it's partially online. It's not fully online. But it has this horrible feature, as we might expect, that it likes to suck up resources right as it starts up. I mean, once it's up and running, it's perfectly fine. It's getting it up and running that's the problem. Alright, now it's going to take its sweet time trying to find the camera. At least Minecraft's now running smoothly. Polished blackstone stairs should be a thing. They are. But cut sandstone stairs are not. Alright, so we're going to sell a nice glass entrance and exit door, which is what, 4 blocks wide, really. Connected textures would be nice. We'll run a wall down here as well. I mean, I'm tempted to just bring that glass wall. It's tempting. I mean, that wall's going to go away. The idea of pillars, we're going to pillar. Maybe not polished blackstone? Now what we can do is set up a mind the gap type setup. So they're going to bring the platforms up to a required level. And then basically go half a block up, make a slab up, and then you're going to have a gap, mind the gap. Actually, your platforms are normally empty underneath. And then like some sort of inverted stair. Not like that. Too low. No, it needs to be coming out of that level. It needs to be like... What did I say about not needing rail lines? Ah, that was silly. I did need it. Now, I don't know whether mobs will spawn on stairs. I don't think they will. Oh, I do wish stairs. Okay, cut sandstone. I don't have cut sandstone stairs. I'm gonna have to go probably smooth. That means it's going to have to be carpeted. In order to prevent mob spawn. I mean, there's how mine the gap. Yeah, I think that works better. But that half slab on top is a bit too much. Oh, there's another one over here. Duh. There's 3 rail ones. Didn't mean to do that. Alright. So there we go. Look at that. That looks relatively painless. Are we filling in these slabs? I don't think we're going to keep the... In fact, we don't need to keep the floor pattern. Down there we do. Up here is fine. In fact, let's have a look. We want... What sort of colour palette do we want? Like we want it to feel like a railway station. Deep slate? Cobbled deep slate? We want black stone in the ceiling though. Tough. Polished tough. So it doesn't need to be a pattern. Like it can just be a single colour. Particularly if we're out here where the you don't want, well, you don't want, where you're going to get all the pollution and stuff on the platforms and stuff. There we go. That looks more like it. And this time I knocked the detector rail off. Not having a good run of that. Alright, detector rail, there we go. So you can have your marble floor patterns inside. You got your that looks more like a railway station type colours and everything else. I think that works well. Looks less out of place than the previous option. Especially given I've already got white and grey for the walls, or black. Alright, then we're going to actually like that, and can I make a stop, like a stop button? What do they call them? The shock absorber things at the end of the track. Okay, it's a bit high. Wants to be shorter, maybe like a fence gate. And I got tough walls, don't I? Alright, let's try that over here instead. A nice red fence gate. Like this. No, not on a wall. Not that way around. It kind of works, but it looks out of place. I mean, if I had a half slab option. Yeah, that'll stop the train. Yeah. Right, let's rip these out. And I'm actually contemplating whether to change the spacing in here. Well, I didn't actually finish that now, did I? So I do need to come back in and finish that. Whoops. Let's go have a look at what I did finish. Maybe. No, they're not spaced properly. I mean, I'd have a lantern there and a lantern there. No, I don't think that really works. But that certainly does. That well and truly looks the part. In fact, if I take that out, there we go. And that actually looks concrete-like. I mean, grey concrete-like, not Minecraft concrete. That's supposed to be a detector. And I mucked it up again. Now, what's just going to happen is, so you'll come through here. These walls are going to be closed off. I mean, that may go back, but still. And, yep, of course, they're... gonna do that now, aren't they? Because they're... full blocks. I knew I should have... knew there was going to be a problem with that. Git. Get out of the way. That's a slab. Alright, that was my fault. Okay. Hopefully no more problems there. Now. Alright, so you're going to come out there. Okay, so what I was saying was... you're going to have... basically, so you'll come through, we'll make this like a foyer. Alright, and then you'll come through to... okay, so you can leave that open, and then this will be the... ticket counter. And then there'll be a gate on either side. You can come through. Okay, ticket counter. Like that. And you come through the stiles into the waiting room. Now, at the ticket counter, I was wondering whether you put the... just trying to think of the couple of big rail stations I've been to. I have a sign. I do. Let me just... coming through the entrance. You can't access the train. Well, actually, a couple of them you can just go straight out to the trains. It's sort of like almost a honesty type thing. It's the subway that you can't get to. So if I could put the ticket counters in over here, on the wall here, like 3 or 4 ticket windows, and then there'd be a destination board. I don't think I'm going to fit the destination board in out here. Maybe that's a security station, information desk. Can we put a sign on it? And then ticket windows. I can't be too deep over here because the rail line is quite close behind. Like I was thinking of like a refreshments area too. We'll make this the destination board area. I mean, I was thinking a nice big rail station. This side I have room for ticket windows. Or maybe we just have a grand entrance. And then through here, 1, 2, 3. Other styles. Well, again, no, we'll go benefit of the doubt. They're like seating, and there'll be a big sign saying 2 trains, like they tend to, like that. And then it'll be like platform 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have deep enough. So it trains that way from platform 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Right. So in fact, what we'll do is we'll get rid of that, make it a grand entrance. About, yep, here. I do have slabs, I have them. So we're going to go helps if I line that up. There we go. Like that. Big. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock that out. So that will come forward one. Or I could leave that recessed and the destination board. Now the destination board is going to be, I have to find the colours for this. I've already got black in the ceiling. It needs to be like a really dark timber. Deep slate tiles might work. Where is it? Over here? Alright, so it's going to be a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want it to be gold, but generally they're like a big contrasting colour. Have you ever seen an old style destination board? I mean, the ones I've seen have generally been a golden colour around the outside. I'd probably go yellow concrete actually. That'd be a good colour. So it'll be like okay, that's not going to be wide enough to be too. Like that. I don't think the deep slate tiles is right. It needs to be more like a almost a block of coal. And then you have them separated by line, so there'll be 3 windows. Like that. I mean, it does look a bit. I wish concrete had slabs or stair options, but that's okay. Right, so how they tend to work is like destination, platform, destination. It's another name for destination that they use. I'm pretty sure it's just destination and platform type thing. I think there's too many locations for it really to be like destination on one, platform on the next. And it needs to be right aligned. So that's what, 4 rows per. No, needs to be a bit more than that. About time. We now have our camera data up. Okay, we turn that off. And there I am. Hello. All right, let's have a look. We're gonna be like a skinny sign, that would work too. Southern line, like that's 1 and 2. It's gonna be eastern line. Idiot. Didn't mean to do that. Right, how about I just copy the line? many stops do I have per line? Down here's what? 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 out that side. That's what, the eastern line? 1. No, there's a couple out this way. 2, 3. There's a bunch down here. Right. Destination and platform. We'll go with that. They're eastern. Western line. Okay, I know. I can't see people's maps there. Okay, so we'll go eastern line. Eastern line. Eastern line is those guys to the east. So I know that. This is the Watcher 0. Try that again. Bring up Watcher 0. And I reckon that's Arastasi, and I'm in the wrong spot. In fact, what I'll do is I'll run along the line and work out who's who in the zoo. the rail line. And make everyone nauseous. Okay, I'm gonna have to use hanging signs, I think. Yep, that is Orostasi, that is the Watcher Zero. And that's the first of Lord Typers, right. Plunk. Okay, so Eastern Line, first stop is how do I spell the name again? I made a mess of that one. Gotta go platform 2. It was Orostasi. How do I spell that? Easy way to do it. Okay, it was Big T, Big W, 0. Close. Close, close, close. There's only 2 off here at the moment, and that is going to be the end portal. Wrong way. I'm going to have to go through there because there's 4 players in there. In fact, I'll go do that now. Wibble wobble, wibble wobble, wibble wobble. Okay, nut with a J. Use a hammer. And pocket rocket 23. Don't do that. My bed back, thank you. Alright, that would be the western line. Okay, in portal. Off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Closely aligned, not fully. In fact, I can probably get rid of those for now. And this last one was... I mean, I could move them all down. For now, I mean, we've got 4... How many do we have in the overworld over there? I think we got more than 6. That's covered off. They aren't connected in. He's on the eastern line. I don't think he's put a line on just yet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Five. There's 5 definitely on the southern line. There'll be more to come. Yep, okay, so there will be more. Because I do know there's at least 2 more that should be on this line as well. So yeah, I'll have to leave it like that. I should have just double checked that, shouldn't I? Because these guys... where did I build it? Huh, not the one I was expecting. So where do these guys' portals go? I know they've got portals. At least they got a shared portal. They had a shared portal. Oh, they shared. Oh, that's right. And the 4th one hasn't been built yet. That makes sense. I will put cherry fences back because I did use them, didn't I? Replace, replace, replace. Was there a sign on this one? I don't think there was. No. So that's 1, 2, 3. There's only 4 down here at the moment. The other ones aren't connected. That's alright. We'll go back and double check the names. Okay, it's, I don't remember the 4th one. It's a Corporal Corvus like this, I think. And then all the way down here was a good question, I gotta say. Let's go check. Black Rider was first. Corporal Corvus was written in full. Andre plays games. Okay, it was Black Rider. there's not enough room. So that'll be like platform 3. That won't be enough room, so Mr. Gable Pants can go to the next one. Like that. Three. Yep, other 3. Done. Alright, and I think we will continue. Bring that like that. We will put in four ticket windows. Okay, so they're going to be waist height. What was that? Light blue terracotta. No, that's at foot level. Maybe like a shutter down. I need something. Bamboo won't be a good option. Needs to be like a grey. The tiles was okay. Okay, let's see how that works. You want the shutter down at the front though. Like that. We have a dark prismarine slab. We do. We do. We like a half open one. And then those 2 are open. I'm going to go. I've got lighting. It's closed. Now that black in the back there looks good. In fact, what is that? That's basalt. I reckon polished basalt would be better. Oh, like that. Yep. That certainly has a feel of government. Yep. And what I'll do is I'll put the polished tough brick stairs like that at the bottom. Yeah. I mean, if I could put like a half level glass level in, I would. Like you'd have the, I mean, either you'd have the talkie hole in it, but I need the NPC that's going to be back there selling tickets to basically give you a minecart that you then come in, jump on, and go wee. And I'm going to have to put up hanging signs. Now I've got glowing sack. I need where my dye is going to be natural. Come on, don't do this to me. Not spawn eggs. Ingredients. I want not sugar, I want white dye. And I want that to glow like crazy. In fact, that should be darker. My signs need to be much darker. Well, I didn't want to do that. Anyway, signs. Dark oak sign maybe? Learn to spell. I mean, if I could put the text different colors on each side, I would. That's east. Learn to spell. Yeah, that looks better. Alright, so you come in through the grand entrance to the train station, get your tickets over here, 2 trains, you've got your destination boards over here. That makes sense. I mean, I could just close it off down here, but I think we could have like maybe a food court, not a food court, like a place to eat. wouldn't go straight. This probably needs to change out to a different colour. Out here works. Now we'll run a different colour up here. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. We look for something nice and dark. They're going to be metallic. Oh, it won't be iron. Could be iron. Eh. Hanging sign. It's going to be somewhat dark because it's been out and exposed like the platforms have. Done, I think. Can I No. Your ceilings are going to be not blackstone. We're going to run something that works as a slab. Something that works effectively as a slab. How's that looking? I mean, that definitely looks more like a platform. That definitely looks more like lighting. I want to diffuse that. I was using iron grates, iron trapdoors in the Department of NPC Affairs. And I'm sure we'll put a light in there somewhere. Like that? Yeah. Now, I'll probably have to tidy this up. I don't think I can leave the roof like this here. But that is turning in nicely into a rail line. So a rail station. A set of platforms. Bit like that. Seems to work. Why did I get rid of that? I need those mangrove planks to come back. Did I keep? No, I got rid of. Get rid of their andesite because it's polished andesite I need. Do I? No, I just need my iron bars back. And then I got to work out what I'm going to do. Seeding. I'm going to put some seeding. Okay, so again, we want it to be a slightly older timber, or maybe even like concretey. I don't think the stone polished andesite might work. We want a chair that looks uncomfortable. Polished deep slate could be what I'm after. So like that. Okay, no, that's too close. It needs to be slightly lighter. But then that's the same as the block behind it. Maybe I switch that out for polished basalt. Like that. No, I mean it does have that old look about it, but no. New. Oh, that's the... Okay, I've got it. Because we're going to look for... like that. Like horrible... plastic. Oh, yep. Public furniture. Like that. And I'm going to put a waste bin in the middle here. Back. Yep. I already feel bad for what I've done. And along here, you're going to be seating back against the wall. What was that? Smooth redstone. It was. Nope, not acacia. I want mangrove. Okay, the walls. Okay, I got yellow concrete over there. I got light blue terracotta. Okay, out here, it's not going to be a very shiny colour, whatever it is. Light grey? I mean, grey wool is better. Light grey concrete? mean, it should be dirtier. A little bit more texture in it. Or maybe not. That, I mean, maybe a couple of pictures. And they're just using the room down on this one. Who did I have coming off platform 1? Maybe I change Stars here to platform 2 as well. Like that? Yeah, that works. And hello to the chatters there in Kick. How are you? All right, so that's working out all right. To answer your question, kinda. I do. No, I was going to say the schedule. Not on Kick at the moment. Kick doesn't allow me to put a schedule up. So I stream gameplay Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, Australian Eastern Time, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, depending on availability. I have a daytime stream of like a just chatting stream for a couple of hours in the morning. So close, but not exactly every day. Okay, so, and the gameplay varies. So tonight is my multiplayer stream from my multiplayer server, and at the moment it's a Minecraft SMP. Monday night I'm doing Mass Effect. Wednesday is Pillars of Eternity. Friday is the Prince of Persia series, and I'm not sure what tomorrow night is going to be. Favorite game? Ooh, good question. I don't know. Doing variety streams, I'm kind of getting exposed to a lot of games, including a lot of games I originally hadn't played or hadn't planned on playing, and it's really nice to get to play some of these. And so I've, well, not made new favorite games. I've really enjoyed, well, Minecraft's on every week. A bit hard to say. There's a couple of games I go back to regularly, but I mean, if I was to go into a desert island with nothing else, I'd probably take one of the I'd probably take Civilization 4 or something like that. Maybe 5. No, I think 4 was the one I enjoyed the most. But I mean, I play as well most game varieties. Don't play a lot of horror games or platformers. I'm not very good at platformers. But then again, I also don't pretend to be very good at anything. I mean, people don't come along to my stream because I'm great at games. They come along to stream because it's chill. Well, I've been playing it. I mean, when I started streaming, way back when, Minecraft was all I streamed. I had a grand plan that I was going to actually beat the game. Now, I have had the game since beta 1.2, I think it was. And up until I started streaming, I'd never been to the end. What else hadn't I done? There's a few other things I hadn't done in game. So the idea was I'd play alternating hard survival and hardcore worlds, and I'd have a couple of house rules. In both, I had to put the base in where I spawn, and whenever I died in the hard survival world, I deleted the world. So I treated it almost as hardcore. The difference being in that in hardcore, the base I built always followed the same design. So it would always look the same, whereas in hard survival had a bit more flexibility, but I still had a base in the same place. It took me a few months, but I'm playing only on stream, but I finally beat it. And I'll admit, I didn't start on headphone, like I didn't have a headset. Well, I did, I just never talked on stream. I still don't put a camera up, that's not going to happen. But it took a while. I had a very enthusiastic couple of chatters and followers who kept prodding at me to get on headset. And, well, I've got my VTuber character, but I won't be on camera myself. How's the stream going today? Not too bad. I mean, I'm still stretching out effectively brand new on Kick and YouTube for streaming, so I know that I'm not going to get huge numbers of followers out of there anytime soon. I'm still sorting out a couple of issues with each of those streams. But otherwise, no, it's going okay. In terms of what I've been able to do, I've been working on my train station here, which is our hub for Nether Highways. Oh, well, that's all right. Thank you. People who come to my stream do so because it's chilled, laid back, and I'm not afraid to make a mess of things. Let me guess. Art design? Right. Yeah, I've my overlays and stuff. I've already got a handful of artists that I've used through, say, Fiverr to generate the interstitials and stuff that I've needed. I mean, there's still a couple of things I need to do, but when I go search out that sort of work, that's how I do it. I'll go to the to sites like that and either find someone I've already worked with or pick someone based on the skill set I'm after. My Minecraft skins, wrong button, arm it up, are done by a single artist over on Fiverr. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a case of I know when I'm going to do these things, I know specifically what I'm after. And so I can go in with a design brief and say, this is exactly what I want, and go from there. Or in the case of some of the other things, I do them myself because, well, the cost to get the work done is a bit much for what the stream does or doesn't make. So I'm at the point where, like, hey, some of this stuff would be great to get external work done, but like a lot of other micro streamers, there just is no income from the stream to justify it. But you can certainly jump on Discord if you'd like. You wouldn't be the first Discord. You wouldn't be the first artist to make contact over there. Now, I will say, the ones who hang around and the ones who I still talk to tend to be the ones who've actually just been quite happy to chill and hang out on the stream or hang out with the community, that sort of thing. They're the artists I still talk to. Most of the other artists generally are just like, you've got my name, running away to keep bugging other people. It's like on Twitter. There's a lot of content creators who refuse to follow back people or basically go on mute because a lot of, like 85-90% of their followers that they keep getting are people wanting to sell art skills or stuff like that. And it's like, well, at least my Twitter's settled down now and it's genuine peeps. Well, that's the thing. I run my community, and I don't tend to do anything else on Discord. That's just, I mean, I've had other communities. I've had people I connect directly to and things like that. But hey, look, you're missing out on some giveaways if you don't hang out in the community. In fact, talking of giveaways, it's due tomorrow night. Giving away a copy of Cat Quest 3. But I will give you credit. I mean, seriously, this is legit credit. You certainly engage a lot more than a lot of other people coming along wanting to sell art skills or I mean, I'll be fair, or yeah, I'll be brutally honest. A bunch of what people have come out to sell is little more than fancy clip art. Okay, I've been around the internet long enough to have seen the products that are used to make some of these art examples, and I'm like, nope, that's example artwork, or that's just souped up clip art. Now, I mean, like I said, the artists I continue to talk to are ones that I know and I've been able to work out make bespoke art, and they're the ones that I, yeah, really do my best to pass work to. When I get the chance. And in fact, with some of my interstitials at the moment, I didn't muck up. I just had a bit of a delay getting worksheets back and workflows back, and actually ended up paying 2 artists for work done. In part because, hey, well, they did exactly what I put in the design brief, and for the work done, I would have felt terrible not paying because they did the work. I just didn't end up using one of them. So, I mean, I'm fair to my suppliers, but it has to be tempered with reality. But, like I said, you're certainly going about it in a more relatable way than most people. Compared to, well, I'd say most of the bots. A lot of the bots I've seen on here, or yeah, people pushing artwork and stuff like that, just launch straight into the Discord thing. I'm like, yeah, no. Even the Twitter bots are slightly better than that. But see, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, do you have an art station, for example? Or Pixiv, depending on the style of art you do. Didn't mean to do that. See, that's the other thing that'll help you stand out from the other people doing this same sort of art, is having a profile and examples up on ArtStation or other places like that. Now, I don't know necessarily that people looking for overlays and stuff for Twitch or YouTube or Kick are going to go looking on ArtStation, but it's certainly a place to showcase artistic talent. Upside down, Miss Jane. Alright, so that's that branch fully covered off, and that looks a lot neater. Clack, 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 clack. Yeah, so I thought about turning it into... I should put the platform on the back. Nope, wall in the way. Actually, no, I should go and do this one. Okay, and put the stairs in place. Stairs in place. Nice. Here we go, all nicely done. And then just a straight run down here. Once I get that done, the rail system, well, it won't be super complete. Got to still finish decorations out here. But the actual rail connections, I mean, they're all working now. That one's still good. Like that. Yep. Okay, and fix that up. Okay. Okay, fix that in. Okay, we 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 back. Okay, again. Around there, it's all fixed up. Other way up. I'm still not sure what I'm going to turn the flooring in the main part of the railway station into. Now, the other thing I did do before coming on tonight was, well, I did a couple of things, which might have been part of the reason why Minecraft took forever to come up, and also why it took a while for the VTuber camera to come up was, well, one thing I was doing was testing to see if a 121.8 installation would work with all the mods. And like I said, surprisingly, most of the mods were good. A couple that I'm really relying on are actually a lot further along for 121.8 support than they were last time I looked. And the other thing too was I was looking at the origin for the skin files for the NPCs that we've got, because one, we're going to be adding more, and two, when I finally put them up in the Department of NPC Affairs, they're going to be well, there's going to be a means by which the designer is going to be acknowledged. In other words, you'll be able to go, like, it'll say where I got the skin file from and who designed it, so that people can go get their own copy of it and basically go back and give credit to the person who developed it. Which, well, I think it's better than nothing. I mean, there's no requirement to, but I certainly think it's something that is only fair. Okay, so we're going to look at what we're going to change this flooring to. So polished tough is 1. It'll be another grey. Something darker, that's raw tough. Okay, I think black. Quartz, no. I was going to think of let's try Okay, so that black should only be a border. Not like that. So yeah, that gives like a dirty marble. That's not marbled, but this smooth quartz does look like a dirty marble, which is kind of what I want to see. Uh, hmm. That's going to get covered in. Ignore that for now. I'm sure I'm going to get the floor big enough to have another type of pattern. This works. Okay, that needs to be that. Yeah, that works as a border. Alright, let's have a quick look. Alright. Alright, and through like that. That's... Okay, I probably should just... maybe like that. And shroom lights are not the right light for the ceiling in here, but we don't have much choice right now. Again, I don't think the smooth quartz is right for that. What's that? Basalt. Well, that actually works okay there. I do like the balance of the texture there. What can I swap out? Light grey. I'll put basalt in. Take light grey out. It's directional. Great. Now, I don't think ceilings in a place like this are going to have cornicing. Actually, that's polished tough, that one. So that should be turned to smooth quartz as well, and then people can use walk down there, that's fine. Not sure what I'm going to do out here just yet, but everything else there looks fine. So I'm going to bring Alright, next problem. G'day Lord Typer, how are you, mate? Look, you've got, hang on, where's your base live? Eastern Line, departing platform 2, Lord Typer. And then off you go. And conveniently, it is set out like a proper destination board in that near to far. So basically, you'll go past Stasi, you go past the Watcher, and yours is at the end. We had a hot day today. Well, hot for you guys. We had a nice warm day today. It's supposed to be even warmer tomorrow. I was looking at the forecast the other day. 27 degrees in Sydney tomorrow. Or Monday. One of those 2 days. Yeah. It's pretty warm for this time of year. Okay, so I can get rid of that. Maybe half slab in. Oh, well, pretty close. Pretty close. In fact, half slabbing in looks good. And I gotta say that basalt looks real good there as well. And that needs to be basalt. Nope, 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 nope. Not basalt. Not more, not basalt. that looks pretty neat-ish. So how long before it starts getting cold for you guys? Actually, that's going to be a wall. That's no, polished blackstone is going to be too dark. It needs to be coloured. That works fine. That works fine. Again, I still got to work out what to do over here. That's going to be walled out. So the light blue works. Doesn't work out here so well. Okay, the spacing on that is terrible. I know how to fix that. We're going to get ourselves our gilded, nope, reinforced blackstone. So, did you go hang out in some water or just chill? Do your best to stay out of the heat. I probably needed that. Nope. No. Okay. So that's one on that side. So that's going away. That's going to go away. It'll go there. Is that pearlescent frog light? Like that. That'll go away, that'll go there. So what's going to need basalt? Okay. Now that I've done that. Canonenweber. Okay, I kind of half read that word. All right. Well, I'll keep my eyes peeled over on Discord eventually. Oh, that one's already done. Nice. Okay, 1 gap, 2, and then that'll be a 3 gap. And then what I need then is light blue terracotta, like that. That's come across nicely. And then this one was actually going to be half closed. And I need the dark prismarine, which is there. All right, give me a sec, having a look. Genuine or reproduction? I hope you wear it when you're playing your. I hope you wear it when you're doing your live streams. I mean, it's not exactly a tanker's jacket, but you know, I'll give benefit of the doubt. I mean, my YouTube character, my VTuber, has different outfits for different streams, but no, I wouldn't go so far. I mean, wouldn't go so far as to dress up myself. Okay, that worked out. That's better. And then In fact, what I think down here, I'll have guidance on what to say and do. It's an oak. What are they? Birch? Yes. It looks good. It looks good. And you look happy. And that's the main thing. Okay. What sort of price should we have? Ticket sellers only sell nuts if you have nut. You probably should. I'll put it. No, that needs to be a bit brighter. No, that's fine. So it's nice and warm. Nice and warm. In fact, let me have a check something out here for a sec. Tab. Slash. Okay, so hang on. Whoop. Let me go back and check that again. Is that Feldgrau? Looks like it. I mean, you get the haircut to go with it too. You know, there's places that'll give you those for real. I mean, they'll expect you to do some effort in return. Wow, they're not cheap. I mean, you said repro, but still, even the reproduction ones aren't cheap. Yeah, are you supposed to tell? No. No. I mean, pretty cool. That is cool. That is real cool. But like I said, you should be wearing it when you do your streams, driving tanks around Europe. Only, yeah, that's what I said. That's, well, I mean, given how thick it is, it's going to be nice and warm. I mean, I'm. No, what I want, I mean, is the Russian type skull cap, the skull cap helmet that Russian tankers and aircrew wore, the one with the like made of leather or whatever it was, with the piping, with a headset built into it and everything. Now, I want one of those. Because that just looks like a combination of a headset and a light helmet type sort of thing. I think Western tankers wore either no helmet or full helmet. And the full helmet with integrated headset just doesn't look the same. Like those other types just, yeah. I don't know exactly what they're called. Right, okay. So that wall's going to stay that colour. That wall's going to stay that colour. I'm going to bring... I got rid of it, didn't I? I shouldn't have got rid of it. This wall has to come over as well. Go there. So, do you like my train station so far? Well, how much is that going to cost? How much is that going to cost? And I'm guessing I'm guessing the outfits from that time period aren't as troublesome to get for you guys. I think I've been as polite as possible about that. And I needed that slab back. Like that. Actually, that needed to be topside as well. No. Now, the question is, what am I going to put in out here? I don't think this blue wall is an appropriate line, because technically this is outside, so this is inside the train station. This is outside the train station on the platforms. So I don't think that's going to be super accurate to put in, because it's not going to be... The whole reason I said about not having white or light colours out here is you've got all the pollution picked up from all the trains. Okay, mangrove planks, I got that wrong. I'm off by one. And waxed exposed common trapdoor. There you go. Yeah, that works. So, is this because you like engaged in reenactment stuff? You just like the style? You've always had a plan to get it? Alright, seating. Now I've got horrid orange seating out there. This wall shouldn't be completely glass. That has made a big difference. Um, well, especially if you're trying to find genuine stuff. I thought, by and large, uh, well, early Weimar Republic, everything had demobbed after the end of World War One. But that 1907 gear stuff, I mean, even the late Prussian gear looks really nice because it's like the end of you're coming off the tail end of the Napoleonic, and so there's still a lot of heavy tunic type stuff. I mean, the sort of thing you see the King's Guard and stuff in London wearing, the big heavy red tunics. Those things haven't changed in 150 years. Or even some of the dress uniforms, say in the US military, some of those haven't changed. I would say the Australians ones haven't changed, but I do know they have. Funnily enough, they went to um, the Air Force was bad for this. Their dress uniform, or their working dress uniform, not working dress at another time as well. Their daily uniform for a while uh, made them look like bus drivers. And a senior officer waiting at a train station in Sydney to catch a train somewhere was approached by some tourist asking for help with their bags because they'd assumed he was a porter. And so, as a result, apparently, they underwent a redesign of the uniforms. And whilst it probably doesn't look as snazzy as the other services, they went back to effectively a World War II uniform. So I know the Brits moved away from theirs, but if you ever see the Australian Air Force um, service dress, particularly their ceremonial tunics and stuff, it looks almost exactly like their World War II uniforms. And apparently in the manual of dress, they don't have the right to wear certain hats with uniform and stuff, but they could almost reproduce um, squadron photos and stuff from World War II, or people like individual photos from World War II with their tunics and stuff. I mean, the flying dress and other stuff looks different, but their full ceremonial gear looks exactly the same. The Army, no, theirs looks modernised, but doesn't look the same as their World War II stuff. Navy, well, Navy don't really seem to change generation much. Well, that's the thing. That Prussian thing, uh, the Prussian styling, there's a that spread. Um, and like I said, if you look at, say, the uniforms the King's Guard wear in London and stuff, a lot of that, I think, had origins, at least, if not Prussian, then there were common design choices with that. Well, um, that's like certain men's jackets. It's like a waiter's jacket. So you know the waiter's jacket that ends like at the bottom of the rib cage and well above the hips. Like um, I call them bullfighter jackets because that's what the bullfighters traditionally seem to wear. That really short jacket. Now you don't see a lot of waiters and stuff wearing them, but if you go to fancier places or really traditional places, you'll see them. It's like a white, heavy linen jacket, like someone gave them a tuxedo and then cut the bottom half of the jacket off. Those things don't haven't changed in centuries, but they just look so cool. Well, yeah, I mean those the those style of dresses and stuff are coming back. So certainly as people get more interested in, say, cottage core or homesteading and stuff like that, those peasant-style dresses, I don't ever think really went away. Certainly not amongst, I mean, there are some communities of people of ladies who always wore that sort of a dress. I mean, they're probably associated with a conservative approach to things nowadays, but still, yeah, there are some people who never left that style behind. What I do is I might just swap that out, go grey there. It's like the idea of Dutch clogs. I mean, people sort of laughed at it 20 or 30 years ago, but what is a crock other than a plastic clog? And doctors in hospitals prefer to wear, I mean, they wore leather clogs or more modernised fabrics, but again, they wore clogs because it kept blood and goo and gore out of their feet, and they were fairly easy to clean, keep relatively hygienic. Yeah, that actually works. And then you head up onto the platform. You sit here waiting for the train to Lord Typer's land, and it's never going to show up. All right, that's working. I don't think I can put anything along there. That's good as is. Try not to bite my tongue. In fact, what I should do is give this a crack. Nope, 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 no, 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 no way. That did not work. Nope. No, you need the yellow at the bottom. That's because they were made them easy targets. Again, because people went in at the start of that war ready to fight the last war, which the last big war had been Napoleonic. And so, yep, even though trench warfare had been proven and skirmishing and stuff, the US Civil War, okay, in terms of military battlefield doctrine, the US Civil War was kind of the end of massed ranks, of massed formations. And with that as well, you started going to low visibility battlefield attire. The greys and the blues, even the northern blue uniform wasn't that heavily blue on the battlefield. Southern grey, yep, that blended it a lot better. By the time of the Boer War in South Africa, both of them, the Boers had basically camouflaged quite well. The Boxer Rebellion and stuff, I think most troops came in all dressed up because they overpowered the Chinese. But by the time World War I kicked off, they were pretty certain by that point mass formations didn't work. It was going to be trench warfare or mobility warfare, and you didn't go out looking like a peacock because that tended to get you shot. Yeah, I mean, that's why I said I think the Prussian style worked well too. It depends what you're looking at. If you're looking at a picture of the guy in the trenches, not that often, I guess. It's also the Navy guys all tended to wear their same stuff. The uniform for in the trenches was a little bit different to the ceremonial tunics or the great coats and stuff. But yeah, I can see your point. I'm just trying to picture. Picture where you're coming from with that, like them side by side. Yeah, I can see you. I see where you're coming from. I mean maybe it was cheaper or a bit harder to see. Yeah, no, it'd be. Yeah, I'd have to look. I'd have to go back to some of my coffee table books and have a look at that sort of stuff. But I mean, at the same time, the for Germany as an entity, it was also kind of their first real. Well, they didn't start the war by themselves. They certainly finished it on their own. Because you're still part of an empire at the start. And hell, you'd only just finished forming as a nation. I mean, a bit like Australia. Australia sees its contribution to World War One as special compared to other conflicts of before and after, because it was the first time Australia went under its own banner, so to speak. Now, we contributed troops to things like the Maori Wars, to the Boer War, and a few other skirmishes and stuff along the way. But it had always, up to that point, we'd been as a colony of England, and so we fought under their flag, whereas World War One was the first time we fought under the Australian flag as an independent nation. Well, come on. The Maginot Line. The Maginot Line was built to to keep the Germans out. They just forgot to put a lid on it. Mind you, up to that point, no one believed that it was possible to go screaming through the Ardennes. Well, the French didn't. I mean, yeah. Great Britain don't like a lot of things. Exactly. Well, that was like how the Italian fortified lines were taken as well. They just ran around them and mopped them up later. Force schmurgered your way in. But yeah. Right. I can't think of what else to put in here right now. I've finished off the things. I mean, the platforms look good. They're all signposted. They actually look like train platforms. I've got the gap, mind you, gap. We've got, well, not quite shock absorbers, but they're there. We've got seating. We've got rubbish bins. It looks fine. These are all done. These are done. The destination board is up and looks right. The ticket sellers booths are in. They're not in at the moment. That's only half open. That's closed. I changed this. I closed this off. I probably should change the colour of the flooring here. That stays there. That needs to go, I think. That needs to go back to I can't fill that in now, can I? Probably. Yeah, no, that has to change. This will change out here. And now that all the NPCs are out, and I also did that work on as well, this is all set up so that there's no mob spawning, which is good, even though these are full height blocks. The carpets are there, or there's rail lines on it. Everything else is half slabbed. So there'll be seating in here, I think. So let's grab, before I go, let me grab some sort of horrible seating. So orange out there. How about we go yellow? Like, no. They're bottom slabs, aren't they? That's not going to work. Let me change my mind on what we're going to do there. Seating is a good idea. Not going to work in practice. The Tannenberg Forest. Well, I mean, it depends on when you look at it. Like what time frame, how you define it, what the outcomes were. I mean, it's like the failure of the Dardanelles campaign and Gallipoli. Okay, Australia, New Zealand and British forces took an absolute shellacking the whole time there. But, I mean, even in the Australians, in overall terms, their injury and death rate in Gallipoli wasn't that bad. Certainly not as bad as some of the horrid Western Front trenches stuff. But Australia's effort through the Middle East, for example, um, they developed things like, well, they were very good horsemen, so um, there were light horsemen, and they were very effective up through um, parts of the Ottoman Empire in the Middle East like that. Now, there are famous Australian battles like Hamel on the Western Front, Polygon Wood, just trying to think of Betancourt, and a few other bits and pieces. Hamel kind of stands out because it's like the first time that really integrated arms, combined arms, sorry, not integrated, combined arms was used. Plus, I think it was also fully Australian planned and led. Um, and yeah, obviously, now, did it come at a time when the people on the other side were pretty much beaten to a pulp? Don't know. I mean, certainly the war was turning by that point. It's like the Americans saying that they showed up in 1918 and won the whole thing. It's like, where were you for the first 4 years? But let's see, the end of World War One showed the importance of movement warfare. The route at the end there showed what happens at the like how effective movement warfare was, and quite clearly it was a lesson that somebody learned for 20 years later. See, but that was so coming out of World War One, the Ottoman Empire fell, Austro-Hungarian Empire fell. Um, the Russians had a civil war. The Germans had a civil war. Who else had civil wars? I mean, China had only recently had kicked half of Europe out. They were due for a civil war. The Japanese and Russians had only recently finished fighting each other over the northern Japanese islands. There wasn't much of a change in most other colonial places. It was coming out of World War II that the Dutch lost the East Indies, the Portuguese completely left Timor, the French got kicked out of Indochina, um, England left India, and Siam and other places. Kenya gained independence. Yeah, so World War II was more decolonialization. Um, not so much in South America or the Caribbean, but certainly throughout Africa and Asia. So yeah, there's a lot coming out of that. Uh, I yeah, the Ottomans. Well, no, there's a certain person who had his worldview shaped by what happened, and uh, you can't. I mean, you can frame what came after it, but if you don't understand what happened between 1918 and say, was it 1920-ish? If you don't understand what happened in Germany in that time frame, how do you explain the rise of the Weimar Republic? How do you explain what happened in the mid 30s and onwards? You've got to have that as a starting point. And who was blamed for lighting the fires, so to speak? And that then contextualizes a lot of what came later on. Now, does it excuse it? Oh, hell no. Does not excuse what took place. But if you want to look at things and wonder why people came to the decisions and came to the decision points they did, things like that make sense. Now, that's not to say that uh, this is only uh, it's not the only reason, obviously, why people got to that point or made those decisions. Clearly, if you look at their works and things like that, they talk extensively about other reasons why they were on that path. Um, but it shaped their experiences, and not just them. Now, um, the that viewpoint, though, people say, "Oh, well, they're terrible for that." Okay, taking another step back, that viewpoint was not unique. There were a lot of people throughout Europe and other places that had that sort of thinking. Um, and it's like uh, you can't hide from history no matter how much you do or don't like it, which is why I think it's important to remember things like the SS St. Louis or St. Louis, depending on how you look at it, which is a black mark on the history of several nations. Uh, and quite frankly, I felt sorry for the crew of that ship because of the timings and where they ended up when things went bad. But the history of what that ship tried to do and what happened every time it arrived in port uh, shows that those sort of feelings were endemic throughout Europe and other nations at the time. It was only a few years later that some people went, "Oh no, no, we've never felt that way." You did. It's like looking at fairy tales. There's European fairy tales. There's a couple of fairy tales there that would not ever get published nowadays because the targeted individuals are very clearly of a specific ethnic identity, and that um, you'd probably get jailed if you tried to write something like that nowadays. But it was gathered by the Grimm brothers as a folk tale. That's what people told each other. And all that sort of stuff comes together to realize that some people were the end of the wave breaking. They weren't the wave itself. They weren't responsible for everybody else suddenly thinking that way. They just so happened to be the more public expression of it. But at the same time, I don't think that things were as simple to be laid out as, oh yeah, it's person X's fault or person Y's fault. You can't. I don't think it's as easy to say, oh yeah, it's not as simple to lay things down like that. Is that, well, that's not Dogger Bank. Hang on, Dogger Bank? No. What's the name of the big, because I mean, I remember like they basically were feeling each other out for ages until it was, that Admiral Jellicoe was, I know, the Brit side of things. There was just, yeah, only one real big naval battle between the forces in World War One, because they never made contact. But plenty of land battles. But it's also like there is the fog of war and everything else, and I think sometimes having read into things and looked at the what's described as having happened, that I think some of the claims that have been made about what happened in some places is stretched a little. Not to say it didn't happen, or that it didn't have the consequences for the people that people experienced, but how that narrative, or the narrative that has been accepted as being it, doesn't make a lot of sense, sadly. Right, I'm at a point where I think we're good for the day. We've done a ton of work on the railway station. We've, well, before the stream, we did a bunch of work researching the NPCs, make sure we know where the skins came from, so that when we do put them in the Department of NPC Affairs, they're going to be good to go. Skagerrak. Well, that's probably a different name. Unless that's a different name that I can think of. Oh, okay, yep. Okay, I think it's the same battle. We call it Battle of Jutland. Well, the English call it the Battle of Jutland. But Skagerrak makes sense too. I mean, it looks to be about right. Yada 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 yada. Yeah. So the English know it as the Battle of Jutland. So that was Admiral Jellicoe and whatever else. And so yeah, sending the little ships out to take care of things, because effectively it was obviously the German fleet breaking out of the Baltic and um, trying to access the North Sea and beyond, and the English were like, nah. But yeah, they would like feinting each other for a while, and then eventually the battle went ahead. And funnily enough, it wasn't as I mean, it was key because of the massive outcome that became of it. Exactly. Well, that's like coming to understand. In fact, I'll finish the game. I'll put it in the chat if people want to leave the stream. Thank you very much for being here. We're just going to drop in the chat. I'll put some tunes up in the background. Yeah, that's how it came to like Sabaton. I forget who introduced me to Sabaton or how I got introduced to Sabaton, but they introduced me to a few concepts around World War II, World War One, other battles and stuff like that that I had heard in passing, but they treated fairly well in a 3.5-minute metal song, and it was worth going back and looking at. I mean, things like the Night Witches, the female night fighter pilots from Russia in World War II. Yeah, I'd heard of them in passing, but didn't realise the importance of them and things like that. And yeah, it's a fine line between acknowledging / recognising and glorifying. I suppose it depends on who won. But the Scarpa flow, the scuttling of the fleet, that was another thing. But yeah, so Cannonen and Weber. Huh. Well, I'll have to look them up. Yeah, I mean, I like Sabaton's English stuff because I can understand it. Don't understand their Swedish stuff, unfortunately. Yeah, so for those who are leaving the stream now, next stream is tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow night. Now, I haven't made a decision yet what we're streaming, but we will be streaming. And the game will be notified on Twitter and Insta, so keep an eye on those channels for information coming out. Also, the giveaway is going off tomorrow night. If you want in on that, head to the Discord, find a channel called Giveaways. There's a blue button in there. Click the blue button, and you're automatically in the draw for a copy of Cat Quest 3. And good news for people who like giveaways, we're going to be running 2 of them a week for a little while. Getting a bit of a backlog of games that need to get their codes redeemed, or else the code will expire. So we're going to be running that for a bit. So look forward to that. All right. Yeah, so we'll see you guys later. If you want to hang around for chat, going to keep chatting for a bit.